They're fast and aggressive, with a bite 6 times harder than a great white shark. And are coming here. Next month, 2 huge Aussie Crocs will be boarding an Air Force Hercules and heading across the Tasman to Auckland's Butterfly Creek. Now, until now, the animal parks had much tamer exhibits, butterflies, lizards, farmyard animals. But after 3 years, they've finally been given permission to bring in the predators. Here's Robin James with John and Brian from Butterfly Creek as they hunt for their new Crocs.
On the hunt for a crocodile, it pays to have treats.
Again, just remember, these are big, strong animals, guys.
John and Brian have come to Humpty Doo Croc Farm north of Darwin, looking for 2 crocs for Butterfly Creek.
They disappeared into the murky water and we had a bit of a struggle finding them and pulling them out.
You've got to remember, yell out help very loudly. That way we can get out of the way.
It seems you don't so much choose a croc as take what you can get. While there are tens of thousands of crocodiles in Australia, very few are suitable or available for purchase.
Some just don't have a temperament that's suited for doing this sort of work with. Some are just absolutely uncontrollable. They charge the fence every time you go near them.
When you find one, you don't want to let it go. Literally.
We top jaw them, put the wet sack over the eyes, then you have to tie the jaws up. So you don't see 5 or 6 people leaping on the crocodile and jumping up and down. So they're very calm.
This is a crocodile farm. If they weren't heading to New Zealand, these angry fellas could end up on the streets of Europe.
One croc farm up in Darwin had 15 or 20,000 crocodiles. In the next several years, progeny had already been sold to Hermes in Paris for handbags and shoes. So we've actually saved a couple of crocodiles' lives.
We're going to get Brian to try and move this guy. If you run into problems, you're not comfortable, just let us know straight away.
Brian will be in charge of the crocodiles. This is a world away from his normal job, looking after the farm animals at Butterfly Creek.
Did you ever think you'd be learning how to feed crocodiles and look after crocodiles?
Definitely not.
Come on.
He's actually a dairy farmer by trade. He arrived from Scotland 5 years ago and stumbled on Butterfly Creek as he left the airport.
Stopped to ask for directions and didn't really get any further.
Yep, pull now.
This is his first crocodile hunt.
I actually caught one of the crocodiles, which was, a bit exciting, a bit scary. And, it was definitely different. Definitely different.
Once you've caught one, you've got to move it. And a whole lot of new challenges come with that.
They're very, very clever predators, and they move very quick over a short distance. An animal this size will bite, they estimate, about 6 times harder than a great white shark. To put in everyday language, if you got your Toyota Ute and dropped her on your foot, that's what it would be like if this guy got hold of you.
What a handshake you get to do every day. You see the size, they're the same size as mine.
This is the business end of what's been a long bureaucratic process for John.
It's a very difficult process. It's taken 3 years. We see the reasons for all the barriers put in our way, but if I knew what was involved, I'd be thinking twice about embarking on it again. It's been a very difficult process. Getting through the approvals and then actually securing the animals is not as easy as you might think.
And when you've got your crocs, there's plenty more hoops to jump through.
They've got to be sedated, captured, swabbed, and 3 of these tests are carried out. 1 croc failed, so we had to find another one.
The crocodiles were caught last July. It'll be April before they get to New Zealand.
One of our big issues was animal welfare, like coming from Darwin, the commercial airline routes, bunny hop, and it can take an awfully long time, with long time on the ground between flights, and these guys are very prone for stress.
So after 6 months negotiation, the Air Force has come to the party. A Hercules will pick up the Crocs as it flies back from Australia.
Purpose built, ready to go.
It doesn't look big. Is this all they need?
Yeah, it's much larger than it needs to be as far as the standard design guidelines from the Australian government go. And they're not a terribly active animal, particularly on land. They'll come up and they'll bask.
And this is where they're heading. Note the separate ponds.
They're very territorial, they're very aggressive, so we've got to keep them apart, otherwise we'll have crocs with missing limbs or worse, fatalities.
So they go each other?
Oh, yeah.
In fact, check out Scar's scar. He got that crashing through a corrugated iron fence to kill another croc.
Very big, very dangerous, but, you know, as long as we're careful around them, we'll be okay. We'll have Brian up on that area, which will be grass by then, doing live feed shows, bit of chicken meat. Crocodile comes out, grabs the meat, dives back in the pool. So we're doing shows on both sides, yeah.
In the meantime, he's off to Cairns for some crocodile wrangling lessons.
Getting more involved with them and the different ways of what to do and what not to do. Definitely what not to do.
And I presume Brian won't have the crocodiles nestling on his lap like he was with the rabbits. Scar and Goldie are both around 40 years old and are both wild crocs who were caught and taken to zoos 20 years ago. We'll keep you posted on their trip.